Hello, friends! I am so excited to be on here announcing the official launch of my intensive coaching programs. These are programs I have been dreaming about launching for quite some time now, but my business was just not quite in a place before to be able to support this kind of really comprehensive care for a small group of people. But I'm in the place now where it makes sense to go here. So I really cannot wait to share more about these offerings. So I wanted to come on here and talk a bit about it. In my own healing journey, I really had to put a lot of puzzle pieces together myself. I really had to figure things out. I was kind of like lost in the wilderness, and I think a lot of people with chronic illness can relate. Like the conventional medicine, system, just isn't giving you the things you need, and if anything, sometimes it's making you worse. And then, sometimes even naturopaths, functional medicine doctors, I mean, they can give some great support, but sometimes, they don't even have the kind of holistic approach that is really necessary for a lot of us. And so part of why I wrote my book is because I wanted to show that there are a lot of aspects of life that you're going to need to rebuild to really get to the deep healing that you're looking for. And I really had to figure it out on my own and get all that information myself. I obviously had some key mentors who I'm forever grateful for that I've acknowledged in my book. But a lot of it was still really putting together my own healing program. So once I got into remission, I said, okay, I'm going to start helping other people. But just, the way I set up my business and just, what made sense at the time was just to kind of do one-off sessions with people, do intakes and then support people in sessions along the way as needed. I wanted to reach as many people as possible. And gosh, people really did need help. My business grew very, very quickly. I had been, private practice in mental health before that, but expanding my reach to doing more health coaching. My business grew very, very quickly. And to get everyone in, everyone who wanted help, I really, couldn't necessarily offer super comprehensive support. It was kind of here's all the information, do your best, come and follow up sessions as often as you need. But, I've always felt man, if I could really just structure the perfect healing program, and just really work with a small group of people to really give them the most intensive foundation for their health that I possibly could, of just addressing all the factors, all the key things that I see people need to really be successful. I was just wanting to do that so badly, and I feel like now my business is in a place where I can. I've had time to refine my protocols, of really figure out what works for people. I've seen, obviously in myself, but then I've seen many clients now make complete recoveries, and I've seen the commonalities in what those people do differently. And this is basically what I'm implementing in these intensive coaching programs. So they're going to be small group cohorts. It's going to be groups of 5. And I think that this will really give people the best of both worlds, because I do see that people do well when they heal in community, right? They do well when they see that they are not alone in their situation, right? They are not unusual necessarily, right? There are other, people come to me all the time and they're like, I know, I'm weird. You've probably never heard anything like this. And I'm like, no, I have. I hear this kind of stuff every day, actually. So I think it's helpful to have that community sense. But at the same time, people with complex illness need individualized support. And something I see not go well in these very large group programs is that people just don't get as much one-on-one support as they really need. So I'm hoping to kind of get the best of both worlds by having these very small group cohorts. But what that means is that there's going to be very limited space in these programs. I'm launching 2 programs, and so there's going to be 5 spots in each one. These programs are launching in July. but only 5 in each. There's only going to be 10 people I'm going to be taking initially. So I really encourage people to apply now. I have already gotten quite a few applications, even just since announcing it yesterday on social media or on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Now I'm seeing it here on YouTube today. So if you think that you want to get started with something intensive like this summer, like apply now, because I'm feeling like the spots are going to fill up pretty quickly. I will be launching more cohorts in the future, assuming this all goes well, but I can't guarantee when those next cohorts are going to get started. So yeah, really, really get on this if you're interested. So the two courses are going to be, the two intensive coaching programs are going to be immune resilience and brain resilience. So I've modeled them on the types of clients that tend to come to me the most, that tend to be drawn to me. And no surprise, it's people who relate to me and I relate to them, right? So, I mean, over the years, I have worked with hundreds of different people, hundreds of different symptom presentations that include all sorts of different, conditions and issues. But there definitely are patterns in the people that tend to be drawn to me. And so one is people who have maybe been diagnosed with mast cell activation or histamine intolerance, or just know that they have a lot of food intolerances, a lot of chemical sensitivities, a lot of big immune reactions to things, a lot of chronic allergies. These are the kind of people that like, my immune system reacts to everything. Maybe you've had a lot of chronic infections, you've taken a lot of antibiotics, your gut microbiome has got to be messed up. So the immune resilience course is for this person. And obviously I relate to this a lot. I'm in recovery from mast cell activation syndrome. I've been in remission since 2019. And I have had a lot of success implementing my Rebuild Your Histamine protocol with people who have these kinds of issues. So we're going to be going through that protocol, but just with a lot more support than you're going to get in my pre-recorded course of that name. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to meet every week for 6 months in these small group sessions, and 2 of those sessions a month are going to be based on nutrition and lifestyle. So you're going to get a lot of hand-holding, a lot of step-by-step help on how to truly rebalance your gut microbiome when you have significant food intolerances and allergies, and maybe histamine issues. It can be a little bit of a minefield to do this. Sometimes you have to really tiptoe in. I know how that is, and I have my whole protocol in my pre-recorded course, but sometimes people they want more support. They really want, someone to really be there walking them through it every step of the way. And so if you feel like you would be more successful with that level of support, this is the program for you. So 2 sessions a month are going to be like that. And then 1 session a month is going to be a neuromeditation coaching session with my husband, Mike. Obviously, the immune system and the nervous system are totally intertwined, right, through that gut-brain axis. And meditation is one of the most powerful tools we have to get the nervous system regulated. Now, a lot of people with these issues have a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic, a lot of tension, maybe even feel like I've heard this all the time, when I start to relax, I have a flare, right? This is very, very common. And so if this is you, you're going to benefit from this still, because neuromeditation is a modality that is specifically designed to match particular meditation techniques with your psychological and nervous system needs. So it's not going to be anything that is going to push you into doing anything that is really uncomfortable or be really triggering. It is really, again, easing you into these powerful practices in a way that is going to be accessible to you. My husband, Mike, is a neuromeditation coach, and so he is there to walk you through it. And then 1 session a month is going to be a trauma release session. So this is something that I have really wanted to be integrating into my health coaching practice more. But usually when people come to me, we're working on the diet and we're working on the detox and we're working on all this stuff. And, the nervous system regulation is a huge part of it, but often I feel like I just don't have time to get deep into that in the way that I think would really benefit people. I know in my own healing journey, I was doing nervous system regulating practices and trauma release practices frequently, like daily even. And I think that's part of the reason that my recovery was so profound. And honestly, my clients who I see recover the most quickly are people who really take that stuff seriously. Even if I'm not able to be as involved with that process as I would like to be, they really like take the initiative and do it themselves. And so in this program, I have integrated trauma release as a very important part of the work we are doing together. Now, this is not going to be group therapy, right? We're not going to be just sitting around delving into our traumatic memory and triggering each other and making ourselves upset. It's not like that at all. It's going to be actually delving into somatic release practices. That means we go into the body and we help our bodies naturally release trauma and tension that has been stuck in our bodies. So it's really more about allowing physiological release in a way that is going to deeply regulate your nervous system. So that's all built into the structure. And then bonus, you get one bonus session with me a month, one-on-one. I'm calling this the Catalyst session. So you're going to get 6 of these with me over the course of the program, where we don't meet in the group. I just meet with you one-on-one, and we talk about anything blocking your progress, right? Any blockages that are coming up, any issues that you're having that are making you feel like you're not as successful. We're really going to get deep into it. And so you can see, like, you're getting 5 sessions a month total for 6 months. Like, this is serious stuff. I really believe that if people come and they do the work and they dedicate themselves to it, they're going to see incredible transformation over the course of these 6 months. So that is my immune resilience intensive coaching program. And then I'm also doing brain resilience. This is the other type of client that I see come to me very often. These are people, maybe you don't have necessarily histamine intolerance or mast cell activation or extreme chemical sensitivity, right? Maybe it's not, it hasn't quite gone in that immune direction as much, but your adrenals are burned out, your hormones are a mess, you're fatigued, you have brain fog, you're incredibly anxious, you're constantly exhausted, but maybe wired at the same time. You get triggered all the time. Maybe you feel like you might have gotten diagnosed with PTSD, or maybe you just feel like there's a lot of unresolved trauma that you have that is causing you to be highly emotionally reactive. And yeah, you are just in this constant state of overwhelm and burnout. So for those people, you need brain resilience, right? And so this is my other program, and it's going to have a very similar format as the other group, but it's obviously the content is going to be more geared towards these kinds of issues. So we're going to be doing nutrition and lifestyle twice a month for 6 months. And this is really relevant to support the healing of your brain and nervous system, because they've done studies actually, like 2 people who experience the same trauma. One person might have a much more extreme trauma-related response than the other one. Like, one might develop PTSD and one might not, even though they've experienced the same trauma. And what they find is that often the person that develops PTSD or develops more mental health symptoms had higher toxic load or had more nutrient deficiencies, right? There's some kind of physiological risk factor for the body not being as resilient to trauma. So it's not all about what we've experienced. It's how resilient our nervous system and our brain are to the experiences we have. We can actually go through a lot of really hard stuff and come out okay. We're kind of an incredible species that way. We need to give our brain and our nervous system the physiological support to be able to do that, though. And so that is why nutrition and lifestyle are still heavily emphasized in this program. Similar to the other one, you're also going to get a once a month neuromeditation coaching session with my husband, Mike. And again, I know that when you might have PTSD or a lot of anxiety, maybe even panic attacks, meditation might feel really daunting, right? The idea of being alone with your own mind can be really, really scary when you have these kinds of symptoms. But that is why neuromeditation is perfect, because there are trauma-informed techniques for how to meditate safely with these issues and still get the benefits. And that is what Mike is going to be able to teach you. Also, you are going to get that once monthly trauma release session with me. Again, not delving into traumatic memory. I find that often that actually just makes the PTSD worse sometimes, right? If we just keep emphasizing those experiences over and over, we are going to learn how to let our bodies release and move on from those experiences somatically. So those are going to be those sessions, and then you still get that bonus once a month one-on-one session with me to talk through any blockages, anything that you feel like is causing an obstacle to having you be fully successful. And so we will have that one-on-one time to really delve into it. So those are my programs. They start in July. The first cohorts launch in July. It'll be running 6 months. We'll be meeting every week, if not more, when you have that one bonus session with me. It's going to be comprehensive. We're going to support all aspects of your healing journey in a way that if you are just starting out with healing, it's going to give you that essential foundation to be really successful. But also, if you've been on your healing journey for a while, but you feel like something's stuck and you really need to get to that next level, it's going to help you with that too. So it's really appropriate no matter where you are on your healing journey. And I'm going to be really handpicking these cohorts to be groups of people that are ready to be doing deep, transformative work. So that is why I'm having people apply for the programs. You can do it on my website. It's just a really quick little form to fill out. And then you can book a consult session with me. You'll get an email after you submit it to book a consult session with me so we can go over your application and see if you really are a good fit. Even if we decide you're not a great fit for the program, I have so many other things that my business is offering now, and this is why I feel comfortable doing this at this point, that I'm really going to be focusing my energy on small groups of people doing really, really deep work. And then if we decide that you decide that that's not right for you, I have my pre-recorded Rebuild Your Histamine course, which is also accumulating a wonderful group of people that I'm really thrilled about. And then also I now have clinicians Mike and Suzanne on staff helping people work through my protocols. They are being directly mentored by me, so it's like just working one step removed, but you're still getting all the benefits of my techniques. So yeah, I am so excited. Make sure you apply as soon as possible. I'm already booking appointments to go over people's applications, and I don't know when the next cohorts are going to start. So yeah, make sure you get in now. And I am so excited for my business to take this next step. I think it's really going to open space up for some incredible things in the coming years. All right, take care, everyone.